All right, we are underneath the XRS. Gonna work on getting this muffler out and replace it with an aftermarket. Pretty simple deal here. We just want to take off those 2 bolts for the muffler. And then there's a hanger right up there and another rubber hanger right there. So I'm going to start with those bolts. They look like they're in pretty not fun shape here, so they might be have a hard time coming off, but we'll start with those, and then if we get those off, then we'll go with the hangers. Doesn't really help us to get the rubber hangers off first if we can't get the bolts off. So we'll start with those, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, so we got the old exhaust out, the 2 bolts up front. This is actually how it sits under the car. We got the 2 bolts up front out. One of them actually broke. I had to use a breaker bar on it, and it snapped right off. You see what's left of it is right there. Getting them off the hangers was a huge pain. Boom and boom, just 2 of them. Though that rubber, after however many years, was just so tight on that, on the metal, and it was really just tough to get those off. If I had to do it again, I would just order the replacement hangers and cut them. Seriously, it's worth it. It was a huge pain to get those off. So now I think I'm like smooth sailing, good to go. Let me get it under it. Let me get under this for you guys. I think I'm like good to go, and then but there's all this crud on. There's all this crud built up around the exhaust there, and it looked like it's supposed to be there. So, okay, let me grab the gasket. Let me see if I can hold the light and the camera. So, see, the gasket for the new exhaust doesn't even go flush. And I'm trying to like chip off this metal buildup / old gasket down here. I'm trying to like chip it off with a screwdriver, and it made like no progress at all. So what I'm gonna have to do is, as my hand's shaking like crazy here, what I'm gonna have to do is get a Dremel and just grind it down, which is a pain. So it looks like we're gonna have to drive no muffler for at least a day. So that should be fun. See, we had to do quite the Dremel on that, but I think we created a pretty nice surface to mount to. So it's going to be just a gasket, 2 bolts. I'm going to do a little copper exhaust spray gasket just because I have it, but it's probably overkill. So I'll report back when I got that mid piece in. All right, we are getting there. So we are on our first hanger. I put some synthetic grease on there just so that the flange would slip right on. Just 2 14s for the bolts up here. You notice it's kind of sitting not totally flush right there. That's okay, because it was, if we remember how it looked after the Dremel, the inside ring was raised, so I don't expect it to be flush on the outside totally. All right, she is in. So we got the muffler on, just 1 flange up there, a little synthetic grease on the hanger, and then a band clip right there. That's just a 17. You can see it comes out here with really nice clearance, probably about 1 inch of clearance from the bumper. I was worried I would have to cut the bumper. We did not have to do that, which I am stoked about. So that's how it came out. Pretty nice. I'm gonna clean this garbage up here, get the car back on the ground, and take her out on the road, see how it sounds. Alright, so I haven't hit lift yet with the new exhaust. So we're gonna jump onto this on-ramp here. good when it hits lift at that 6,500. It really sings, man. It really sings. It sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty good. Now we are at a little over 80 miles an hour, a little shade under 4,000 RPMs, and this is what it sounds like. So it's droney. I wouldn't want to take a long road trip with it, but you know, I'm not listening to music when I'm in this car, so I don't really mind a little bit of drone. What's up, guys? It's a few days after the exhaust install, the muffler install I should say, and I just wanted to give you a little update. I did decide to keep the silencer in there, the black piece with fixed with the 2 screws there. It was just too loud without that silencer piece in there, so I did decide to put it back in. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a couple of revs here, and I do think it's a pretty nice note for the price it paid. So there you go. I think it sounds pretty good. The car was warm. That was not a cold start. So I'm gonna take it for a couple of rips here, and you guys can see what it sounds like in the cabin and with the windows down. It was just too loud without that silencer piece in there, and I'm gonna start driving this car more now that it's nicer out. So decided to put the silencer back in. All right, guys. So we're just gonna roll into it. We got one window down, silencer in. Alright, so we'll see how it sounds with the silencer in, all windows up. So under power, it's a pretty nice tone. It's not drastically different than stock, but when you take that silencer out, it's crazy how much louder that is. You know, it creates interior rattles, and it's like wildly louder. It's crazy. It's just a small piece of metal. So so I hope this video was helpful for you guys. You know, it's a big savings over the TRD cost of that muffler. This RS type one off eBay was $80, which is, you know, almost 1/5 of the price of the TRD one. I think the best price I saw was, you know, $410 before shipping. So take home points, good value for the money. You got options to be very loud or kind of subtle. I think it looks excellent compared to the stock, which has no look at all because the stock one doesn't show under the bumper. So it's a no-brainer. It looks a lot better in my opinion. And then, you know, from an install standpoint, you know, it depends on how clean or how dirty the underside of your vehicle is. If you're in an area that salts roads, it's probably going to be a little bit of work, but if you're in an area that doesn't, it'll probably be a super easy install. Hope this video was helpful, and you know, give it a like. I'm sorry if it was a little bit choppy. I'd film it in a couple different segments. So have a great rest of your day and stay safe.